Hello book besties! It is time for my favorite video. If you're new here, I am doing the blind TBR. I've been doing this now for a while. This is absolutely my favorite way to figure out what I'm going to be reading each month. I do have a couple of books that I'm going to be reading no matter what that I'm going to show you first, and then we will use a random number generator and pick 5 books off of this cart. I can do one swap out at the very end once I see all of the books on my TBR. If I want to try for something else, I can do that for one book, and that's the rules. Just so you know, the rules change frequently, but that's the rules for this time. Before I get into the books that I will be reading, I would love to know what are the top books that you are going to be reading in November. Let us know in the comments so that we can all continue to just add books to our endless TBRs. Alright, let's just get right into it. So first, I will be reading The Unmaking of June Pharaoh. If you think that you saw me talk about this in another blind TBR video, no you didn't. Okay, yes you did, but I never got to it. It is one of the many that I just didn't have time for, and fortunately for me, over in my book club on Patreon, I do not pick all of the books that we're gonna be like choosing from for the month. We actually all nominate different books, and then everyone just kind of goes like, I love that nomination, and then we come together with like 3 or 4 options and vote on those based on everyone's nominations. And this book was so surprisingly the most voted book. And so this is what I will be reading with my book club in November, so I actually like cannot not read this, which is great for the book because I've been putting it off for far too long, and so many people love this, so many people give this 5 stars. My hesitation with this one has been that I did not love Spells for Forgetting, and so I just have been nervous that it's gonna fall short for me. I'm pretty sure this has something to do with some time travel and some motherhood and mystery, which all of that sounds really good, so hopefully I love it. Also, as part of my book club, my girlies are going crazy with the buddy reads in November, apparently. Other than June Pharaoh, we have now added 2 other books that we'll be reading together. One of those I am personally so eager to read, and that is Rebecca. I got this one 100% because it has been recommended to me a jillion times this fall season. So guys, I'm gonna read Rebecca. My husband does insist that we watch this on Netflix. Thankfully, I have like the brain of Dory from Finding Nemo, so I don't remember the movie. I could watch the preview and I'm like, it does look familiar, but I have no clue what happened. So thankfully my brain works that way, and I'm going into this not knowing what to expect. It's a thriller. This woman gets engaged, goes to this man's estate. She, I think, knows that he had a wife, but it's his ex-wife, and then weird things start happening. I thought maybe it's a ghost story, but I think someone told me it's not. We'll see. Apparently it is just a very loved book by all of you guys, and so I am finally going to read it for myself with the ladies in my book club, and then we'll watch the movie, and maybe then it will come back to me. I'm so excited about this, guys. But also so nervous. If you've been here for 1.1 seconds, you know that Binding 13 is like my whole personality. It is my favorite book series of all time, and I'm pretty obsessed. But it is not a book that's for everyone. There is language. It deals with very difficult and triggering topics. So I always say how much I absolutely obsess over it, but I always warn people to tread carefully while reading it. Well, my girlies have decided that they are going to buddy read this as well. There's a whole group of them buddy reading, and they're gonna go for it. They're gonna read Binding 13. I am planning, hoping to read again with them, so this will not be obviously my first time reading. It will actually be my 3rd time reading this book, but I'm here for it, so I'm hoping with all hope that I can squeeze this one in and read along with some of my friends, and I'm hoping with literally all hope that they all love it, because it's just one of those books that I understand isn't for everyone, but I really hate when people hate on this book because it is everything to me. And the last book that is like on my must reads for the month is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This one is a read-along with Tales of Starlight Book Club. A couple of my friends run this fantasy book club every other month, and this is their pick for November. I did vote for this one when they had their voting. It is huge. When I opened this up, I was like, what did I just sign myself up for? Because, you know, when we're all trying to read a million books, the big ones are so intimidating, but hopefully I just love it and fly right through it. I have seen this one trending a ton on TikTok, like the 5 seconds a month that I even go on TikTok. That's where I've seen this one trending a lot, and it's fantasy, romantasy. I literally don't know anything else other than that. That's on brand for me. If it's that genre and people say it's good, I literally don't even read the synopsis. So hopefully it's great. All right, now let's get into the wrapped books. The last 2 months I did only fall reading. I'm a little bit over it. I really want to like read whatever at this point. So I've got romance, I've got thriller and mystery. I've just got a really good mix here because I feel like it's the last month of the year that I can do that, because Christmas is obviously Christmas books. And like I said, I've been reading thrillers and more of those vibes for the last 2 months, and I just want to read what I want to read this month. So this is not just a fall TBR, this is any book. And I've been doing like numbers out of my cup because the number generator always failed me and just did like 5 numbers in a row. But it's been a few months and I have to mix things up. If I don't change things, I get extremely bored. So we're gonna go back to the number generator this time. I think I have 19. Yes, 19. That really bothers me that there's not 20. So 1 to 19, generate. Number 16. Oh, this is perfect. Oh my goodness, this is so perfect. This is probably the only one on my entire cart that I almost didn't wrap because I know if I don't read it this month, I'm not gonna read it until like next fall. And I was really torn about what to do with it. And then it got picked. It's meant to be. Starling House. Look at this book. I'm pretty sure it's like haunted house type of vibes. This girl cares for her younger brother. She is having like weird dreams about herself in this house. And then she gets invited to the house and it's like her favorite author. But the author I think is dead. I don't know. That's what I glean from the synopsis. I am not a very good like synopsis person, but I had one friend tell me that this book was amazing and recommend it, and again, that was really all I needed. So I am thrilled that this stunning book is on my November TBR. All right, next. This is what it does. We're not jumping very far. Number 13. We'll go with it. Oh lordy, this is a big book. Just pull it out the side. Okay, I'm not mad about it though. I have my reading cut out for me with these big books, but Glow of the Everflame, and all the people cheered. I am actually like halfway through this book, but I got halfway through the book months ago, so I might need to like skim and reread. I didn't stop reading it because I wasn't enjoying it. In fact, I was really enjoying it, but these blind TBRs take up a lot of my reading time and I just have not been able to prioritize it. So now I can finally prioritize it because earlier this year I loved Spark of the Everflame, and I just hear that this gets better and better and better. This is fantasy, romantasy. If that's your jam, you literally don't need to know anything else. You need to pick up this series. They did just come out with the first one in hardcover, and it is so gorgeous. I almost bought it the other day. That's irrelevant. I'm very thankful and very excited to read this one. All right, let's try again. Hey, it jumped lower. Number 3. I am shocked. Oh, I'm excited about this one. In This Moment by Gabrielle Meyer. This is another book that's part of a series I read earlier in the year. What is that first book called? When the Day Comes. I think that was the first one. And I loved that book so much. So this one has been on my blind TBRs every single month, basically. and I'm finally gonna be able to read it because, again, I just hear this gets better and better. It's historical fiction with like the sweetest, most romantic love story plus time travel, but it's like time travel done well because that is extremely hit or miss. And I've honestly just been so eager to get into this one and just been waiting for it to be open. I'm pretty sure this is like the daughter of the first book. This author just does such a good job with like the time travel and historical fiction element. Bridging those two. It's so unique and so good. And anyways, okay, I just can't wait to read this book. I feel like this is going really, really well so far. I mean, I did handpick the books that are being put on here, but sometimes, like, when I open them, I'm like, oh, never mind, I don't really feel like reading this. But this is going well. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. Okay, number 15. This is another pretty big one. I'm excited about this one too. This is another one I probably wouldn't read anytime except the fall, so it's perfect. Ruth Ware, The It Girl. If you don't know, one of my all-time favorite thrillers is Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, and I think I read one other from her that I also enjoyed, but The It Girl, I could be way wrong. Let me just look before I sound like an actual fool. April Clark was the first person Hannah met at Oxford. She was the ultimate it girl and quickly pulled Hannah into their dazzling orbit. Together, they cultivated a group of devoted and inseparable friends, but by the end of the year, April was dead, and now a decade later, Hannah and Will are expecting their first child, and the man convicted of killing April, who is the former Oxford porter, has died in prison. Hannah's relieved to have finally put the past behind her, but her world is rocked when a young journalist comes knocking and presents new evidence that Neville may have been innocent. As Hannah reconnects with old friends and delves deeper into the mystery of April's death, she realizes that the friends she thought she knew all have something to hide, including a murder. Are you kidding me? Okay, this gives like dark academia, but more than that, and more importantly, this gives Pretty Little Liars vibes. And if you know anything about my preference in thrillers, it's Pretty Little Liars vibes. It's probably gonna be a hit for me. I feel like there's a really good mix of people who love it or totally did not like this, but it does sound like my kind of a thriller, so hopefully I love it. All right, one more. Number 9. It's a small one, thank God. This is another really good choice. I think a lot of my friends are going to be very excited to see. Shady Hollow. This has been on my TBR forever. This is a cozy mystery, but it's like featuring animals and the animals can talk. Like, they're the main characters. I don't even know if there's a human in this book. Maybe there is. I don't think there is. But I have friends that have loved this book so much and have recommended it to me so many times, so I'm sure they're gonna be very excited to see me finally read this one. I do think it might be a great one to have with the rest of my books, but before I decide if I'm gonna swap anything, I'm gonna like analyze what I've got going, because in my mind right now I have like no romance, and that makes me really sad. So hold please. I'm looking and I'm pretty happy with this TBR. Here's what we're working with. And I'm pretty happy about it. I actually don't think I'm going to swap anything out. There's a lot of books on here that I have been putting off for so long, and I'm excited to read and to like finally get around to. Okay, these are really heavy, so I'm going to set them down. The number generator did not fail me this time, which is shocking, but appreciated. Well, that is a wrap on my November TBR. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video and you have not hit subscribe yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and sticking around. Again, I would love to know what you guys are planning to read in November. If you have read any of these books and love any of them, I love to know y'all's thoughts. And I hope that your books are amazing. I'll see you guys in my next video.